Thinking about buying the Roland VAD507 electronic drum kit on Amazon? Good, because if you're about to drop several $1,000s, you absolutely need to watch this first. I'm going to show you the stunning reality of this flagship kit, but here's what surprised me. This isn't just a review, it's an intervention. For the best price, click the link in the description. Let's begin. Act 1. The alluring dream versus the hard reality. The Roland VAD507 is the closest thing to an acoustic drum set in the electronic world. It looks breathtaking. Real acoustic-sized shells, a beautiful finish, a massive snare, and those gorgeous V-cymbals. It promises the ultimate playing experience. Therefore, you might be ready to hit buy now. However, the first thing you need to understand is that this kit is a paradox. It's an acoustic-looking instrument designed to be silent. That disconnect is everything. It feels real, but your neighbors hear nothing. That's the core magic and the core compromise. So let's unbox that paradox. The setup is a beast. Those big shells and heavy-duty hardware mean you're not moving this casually. It's a permanent installation. Think of it as a piece of furniture that you play. That's promise one. If you have the dedicated space, this becomes your acoustic-looking command center. And this is a huge but. The module is the brain, and it's older than you think. The TD27 at the heart of the VAD507 is powerful. But it's not the brand-new TD50X, therefore. You're paying a premium for the aesthetic and feel, not the absolute latest sound engine. That's the first contrarian snapback. This is a look and feel purchase first. The sounds are great, but they're not the main headline. Curious about how that feels? Let's move to the pads. The snare drum is a 14-inch digital monster. It's the star. The positional sensing and rim shots are uncanny. You'll forget it's electronic. The toms are 10-inch and 12-inch mesh heads that respond beautifully. The kick drum tower is solid and feels like you're punching a real beater into a head. Therefore, the physical feedback is 95% there. However, the cymbals reveal the first trade-off. They are V-cymbals, meaning they have multiple triggers. The ride does bell, bow, and edge. The crashes choke, but they are made of rubber and plastic. They look amazing from 3 feet away. Up close, they feel like, well, high-quality rubber and plastic. That's the illusion. You're paying for the visual scale, not the material. It's like a movie set, stunning from the audience, but you see the plywood backstage. So is the feel good enough to justify it? For most, yes. The playability is superb, but if you crave the actual flex and shimmer of bronze, you will have a moment of cognitive dissonance every time you hit a crash. That's the tightrope. Now let's talk about the module sounds before you get bored. The TD27 module has fantastic core kits. The acoustic emulations are detailed. The snare wires buzz, the toms have depth. You can get lost in the presets. However, the editing is deep, maybe too deep. Therefore, you can tweak for hours, or you can just play. That's the beauty. It's plug and play for the simple, but a sandbox for the nerds. And the digital snare and ride inputs are key. They unlock the nuance. So the sounds are not the latest TD50X samples, but they are more than good enough for practice, recording, and even live use. But wait, you're thinking about recording, right? Therefore, let's plug it in. USB audio interface, MIDI over USB, all the outputs. It's a recording studio's dream. Silent, controllable, perfect. However, the built-in sounds are what you'll likely record. The MIDI is fine, but the magic is in Roland's internal modeling. So for the home studio warrior, this is a weapon. But is it the right weapon for you? Let's pause. I promised you an intervention. Here it is. The VAD507 is not for the drummer who wants a cheap, portable e-kit. It is the opposite. It's for the drummer who has given up on acoustic drums due to noise, but refuses to give up the throne-like experience. It's for the person who wants a centerpiece in their room. It is, frankly, a luxury. A glorious, wonderful, expensive luxury. Therefore, if your primary need is just quiet practice, a Roland TD17 KV2 is a far smarter financial move. But if the dream of a full-size kit in your apartment makes your heart beat faster, keep watching. Because we're about to dive into the brutal part, the things you won't hear in the marketing. Act 2, the deep dive, the devil and the dollars. Let's get critical. The first joke about this kit is that Roland calls it acoustic design. That's marketing poetry for it looks like the real thing, so you'll feel better about the price. It's like calling a minivan sporty design. It has a spoiler, but you're still hauling kids to soccer. The VAD507 hauls your ego to drumming heaven, but you're still hitting rubber. That's okay, just know it. Now the hardware, it's solid, but it's not premium acoustic hardware. The stands are good, not great. The memory locks work. The rack is stable. However, if you're a heavy hitter, you might get some creaks. Therefore, it feels professional, but it's built to a price point within this luxury bracket. Think of it as a luxury car with a slightly plastic interior trim piece. You notice it only because everything else is so nice. Next, the module again. The TD27. It has Bluetooth. That's a game changer for playing along with music from your phone. Joke number 2. The first time you play along with a track wirelessly, you'll feel like a wizard. A very sweaty, drumming wizard, but a wizard nonetheless. The coaching functions are there. The metronome is great. The user interface is a color screen, but it's not a smartphone. It's functional. However, navigating while sweating is not ideal. Therefore, set your kits up once, then just play. Where this kit truly shines and where the value justifies itself for the right person is in the playing experience. The spacing, the size, the posture. You sit at this thing like it's a real kit. Your body moves correctly. Your muscle memory works. That is priceless for an acoustic drummer in exile. That's the real thing you're buying, the correct ergonomics. But is that worth the extra $2,000 or $3,000 over a compact kit? Only your back and your bank account can decide. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the price. On Amazon, this kit is a serious investment. Therefore, you need to think of it as a long-term investment. This is not an impulse buy. This is a, I am committing to drumming for the next decade buy. However, the good news is Roland gear holds its value, and it's built to last. So the cost per year over 10 years, actually reasonable. The cost per day if you play daily, a coffee, but the initial sting is real. Now the biggest, but of all, expansion. You want to add a second crash, a fourth tom. Be prepared to pay. Roland pads and cymbals are expensive. The ecosystem is a walled garden. Therefore, your beautiful kit can become a money pit if you catch upgrade-itis. However, the standard configuration is complete for most. So resist the urge to look at the Roland accessories page. It's a trap. Let's move to sound again, but differently. Through headphones, it's immersive. Through a PA system, it's powerful. But through its own tiny speakers, it doesn't have any. Joke 3, the VAD507 is like a silent film star. It's all visual performance until you give it a voice through external gear. Therefore, factor in the cost of a good drum monitor or PA if you want to play out loud without headphones. This is a hidden cost many forget. Now, the competitors. You might be looking at the Alesis Strike Pro SE or the Pearl E-Merge. They offer similar full-size aesthetics for less money. However, and this is a crucial however, the Roland sensor technology, reliability, and resale value are generally considered superior. Therefore, you are paying for the Roland name and the peace of mind that comes with it. It's the Apple of E-drums. It just works for a premium. But does it work perfectly? Almost. I have to mention the hi-hat. The VH10D that comes with it is good. It's not great. It's the weakest link in the chain. The pedal feel is okay. The opening and closing precision is very good, but it doesn't fully replicate the slosh and nuance of a real hi-hat. Therefore, serious hi-hat sticklers might later upgrade to the VH14D, which is another chunk of change. See, the upgrade trap beckons. So after all that, who is this kit actually for? Let's crystallize it. Act 3. The resolution, your final decision. If you are an acoustic drummer trapped in an apartment, condo, or noise-sensitive home, and you have the budget, the VAD507 is a therapeutic device. It saves your hobby. If you are a serious home studio owner who needs a silent, versatile drum source that looks inspiring in your space, this is a top-tier tool. If you value aesthetics and the psychological boost of playing a real kit as highly as the sounds, this is your kit. However, if you are a beginner, stop. Do not buy this. Start with a Roland TD07KV or a Yamaha DTX 452K if you are a gigging drummer who needs to transport your gear. This is a nightmare. Get a Roland TD27KV2 instead. If your primary concern is having the absolute latest sounds and you don't care about shell sizes, look at the Roland TD50X kits. Therefore, the VAD507 occupies a specific, luxurious niche. It is the best in the world at what it does, providing an acoustic drum set experience without the sound. That is its singular triumph. But is it perfect? No, the module is a generation behind. The cymbals feel like cymbals made of advanced materials, not brass. The hi-hat is merely good, the price is steep. Therefore, your decision matrix is simple. Do you prioritize feel and form over having the absolute latest tech? If yes, buy it. Do you have the space and the budget to treat this as a piece of permanent, playable furniture? If yes, buy it. Will the sight of this kit in your room make you want to play more? If yes, then it's worth every penny, because the best drum kit is the one you actually play. Joke 4. Buying this kit is like marrying a supermodel. It's stunning, it turns heads, and it's high maintenance. But you sure look cool doing it, and you'll probably spend a lot of time with it at home. In conclusion, the Roland VAD507 is not just an electronic drum kit, it's a statement. It says you are serious about drumming, but respectful of your neighbors. It says you value inspiration from your environment. It is a masterpiece of design and engineering with a few understandable compromises. Therefore, before you click buy on Amazon, ask yourself the core question: am I buying sounds or am I buying an experience? If it's the experience, you have found your kit. For the absolute best price on the Roland VAD507 on Amazon right now, click the link in the description below. That link supports this channel at no extra cost to you and gets you the kit you've been dreaming about. Thank you for watching. Now go make some noise, quietly.